Welcome ladies and gentlemen, call me the Dream Believer, this way, and welcome back to another episode of Hoshizora. Well, this is for the other club member. Let's just get right into the game. I don't know what's gonna be, but we will get to know who it actually is. Yeah, we already finished watching the movie. I'll borrow it for us the other day after all. Gotta go and borrow some new ones. Look, senpai, watching movies is fine in its own right. But don't forget that we are proud members of the school's legendary Asu Circle. What's with you all of a sudden? Weren't you all enthusiastic about wanting to watch the new summer movies that came out? You can throw that past me into the trash bin. From today onwards, I am a new me. Saying so, Asu moves to the side and spreads out her arms, presenting myself, who has been silently standing behind her. Voila! Feast your eyes and behold, focus your attention on this fine fellow here, please. Make your gaze eat into him. Please, no, I'm about to die of embarrassment already. Please don't turn the other way now, Kogasaka-san. And don't introduce me like I'm some exotic animal. Who might be your friend here? My name is Kogasaka Yu. I just transferred to the school this Monday. It's a pleasure to meet you. I go with a polite self-introduction. And this is our club press, the one and only Okaitsumo Haruto. Okaitsumo is wearing a questioning look on his face. And what brings the transfer student to our Asu Circle? At that point, something suddenly occurs to Akutsumi senpai. Don't tell me you're a minion of the student council plotting to sell out this room to the film study club. No, he's a transfer student. You just called him one yourself, for Pete's sake. He could easily be a spy, guising himself a transfer student for all we know. If anything, I think the student council would rather launch a frontal attack than utilizing such a roundabout approach. They might have changed their policy for all we know. I can assure you that Nei-san will never use such underhanded tactics. Her personality might have changed for all we know. Come on, stop this. Senpai. You were the single sole person that protected this clubroom. Please have some more self-confidence. Well, at that time, something was wrong with me. Whenever I opened my mouth, I chanted slogans. Whenever I walked, I was marching. And at the end of my protest place art, however, it said, "We come in peace" in calligraphy. You are the one who wrote it there, right? Was me, but not me in the same right. After all, back then I was still able to see the Death Omen star, but now no matter how intently I score the night sky, it's nowhere to be seen. Death Omen star? Isn't that from some anime? I don't really get it, but anyhow, what exactly does it mean for me and my standing that I've become basically non-existent here after my self-introduction? I've got some great news for you that will suit your fearfulness. Ta-da! Enough with this staggy way of introducing me, please. His name is Kokazaka-yo. He's the second year and his gender is male. To add the icing on the cake, this fellow right here will be a member of our Aso circle starting today. Katsumi senpai's eyes instantaneously widened to their absolute maximum. He testfully jumps onto the table and thrusts his fist high up into the air. Oh my god, what kind of drugs is this guy on? Oh, senpai has gone into berserk mode. I guess that was too strong of a stimulus for him. Unlike me, the other two aren't the least bit surprised. As the club president, I'm glad to welcome you, my friend, Kogasaka-yo. Okay. I fearfully shake hands with him. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. He stares at me with the eyes of a predator stalking its prey. I'll make an effort not to ever draw near this guy until doomsday arrives. Senpai, you are scaring him. Here, your favorite. Asu passes him a puzzle ring. Okaitsumi senpai, with bloodshot eyes, immerses himself in fiddling with the puzzle ring. Those are a surefire way to calm down. Though I ask that you don't feed him anything else besides puzzle rings, okay? Yeah, I get it. I get a very good understanding of the fact that the press is treated like a wild animal. You will probably never guess it after what you just saw, but Okatsumi senpai is actually pretty darn smart. I hear he's remained the top scorer on exams since he first started here at Tiburi High. He is also his great representative, and you could say it's precisely because of his outstanding merits that he's managed to protect our Aso circle. There's a saying that says there was a fine line between genius and insanity, and I've now found living evidence of that. Okay, since Okatsumi senpai are gonna be out of it for a little while, I'll give you a rundown of our circle as the vice pres. Okatsumi senpai curled up in the corner of the room is repeatedly solving the puzzle ring only to reset it and solve it all over again. We have 4 members in total. Our press got Okatsumi senpai, the vice press, myself, plus Kazumi-chan, and Setsuna senpai. Setsuna senpai isn't present. She is apparently only a paper member, so I suppose she won't be showing up today. Since you have joined us now, that means we are up to 5 members, although that's still not a lot compared to other clubs. It doesn't matter at all when it comes to stargazing. Good observations, a good observation spot and the necessary equipment is of far greater importance than the number of
天
members.
体望遠鏡は私のがあるからいいとして、あとは学校の屋上が使えればな。
I have my telescope, so we are good on the equipment part. Now, if we could just use the rooftop, we would be all set. That telescope is your own, right?
そうだよ。隣の資料室に置かせてもらってるんだけど、あそこの扉から入れるよ。
Yep, sure is. I have it stored in the reference room that's right next door. You can enter it through the door over there. I spot what seems to be the door in question near the whiteboard. I've heard those come with quite the price tags.
まあね、口径が15センチの赤道儀式の反射望遠鏡なんだけど。
Yeah, it's definitely not an exaggeration. Mine is a 15 centimeter equatorial mount reflecting
フォー
telescope.
トタッチがついて、デジカメとの相性もいいから気に入ってはいるんだけどね。
Also has an auto tracking feature, and it's fairly compatible with digital cameras, so yeah, I'm pretty content with it. Wow. Equatorial mount, auto tracking, these terms are being thrown around and I have no clue what they mean.
やっぱりいつかは大口径30センチの望遠鏡が欲しいな。
But at the end of the day, there's just no beating a 20 centimeter telescope, boy. Would I just love to have one of those? Just curious, but how much would a 30 centimeter one
ピンキリだ
cost?
けど、100万は超えるかな。
The price range does vary a lot, but I would say nothing less than 1 million yen. Jesus, that much? Asuo's passion for astronomy never ceases to amaze me.
望遠鏡って
Cases,
レンズと
however,
反射鏡が大きいほどよく見えるんだよ。その分値段は高くなるし、重くもなるから持ち運びにくくなるんだけど。
the larger the lens and reflector of a telescope, the better the view you get. In exchange, the price shoots up like you would expect, and they also get heavier, which makes it difficult to haul around and stuff.
それに大きいと場所を取りますからね。
There's also the fact that large ones are rather difficult to store.
昔はね、校舎の屋上に大きな天体望遠鏡が置いてあったんだって。先代の天文部の所有物だったんだよ。
In the past, there was actually a large astronomical telescope installed on the school's rooftop. Wow! It used to be the property of the preceding astronomy
古
club,
くなって廃棄処分されたんですよね。
but it got worn down over time and they decided to scrap it.
捨てられる前に見てみたかったな。きっと天文台みたいで素敵だったんだろうな。
I really wish I could have seen that before they got rid of it. I imagine it must have been just as amazing as a real observatory. Asuo's eyes are sparkling. The rooftop is off limits for students, right? Off the top of my head, I would guess it's because the astronomy clubs decayed over the years, or is there some other
見
reason?
たいって。りょうちゃんはれっきとしたテンクル部員なんだから、言葉は慎んでほしいな。
Decade, you're a full-fledged member of the Astro Circle, so you should probably choose your words more I forgot what that was. Well, sorry about that.
小笠坂さんは事実を述べただけで悪意はなかったと思いますよ。
My opinion? No, in my humble opinion, Kokosaka-san has merely stated the truth and doesn't mean anything bad by it.
わかってるけど。
You don't have to say it.
屋上の立ち入りが禁止されているのは、天体望遠鏡を廃棄処分したのがきっかけだったと聞いていますから、小笠坂さんの言葉は当たっているかもしれませんね。
I've heard the disposal of the telescope was the initial event that led to the rooftop becoming off-limit. So I suppose one might say you aren't far off with your guess.
禁止にしたのは生徒会なんだよね。
It's the student
教師
council.
がどうとかの理由で先生方に
Oh,
申
it's
請
her
して
sister.
許可されちゃったみたいなんだ。
Yeah, it's a sister, I guess. It's the student council who made it off limits. Apparently, they submitted an application that listed some dumb reason like upholding discipline. to the teachers and they gave their approval. And that's why you see the student council as our enemies? Absolutely, and Komoma-chan's the final boss. Considering she's the vanguard of the Asu Circle opposing camp, when I chatted with Hisakaki-san, she talked like they weren't taking hard measures to maintain discipline because they like it either. Same difference. If they aren't giving us permission to use the rooftop, I mean, I'm totally not trying to disrupt discipline. My sister tends to get her personal feelings mixed in when it comes to the Asu Circle, so your indignation may be only reasonable. If that's what you think, then give me a hand persuading Komoma-chan, why don't you? Don't forget, I'm also on Nesan's side. You always give me that. A form of sisterly love, I suppose. So, like, the deal is, if we get enough members to be approved as an official club, we should be able to get permission to use the rooftop again. The persuasive power of a club is vastly different to that of a circle. Once we have permission, we can resume our activities on the rooftop, huh? Yep. Just wondering, but does it absolutely have to be the rooftop? Like, maybe we could use the courtyard, for instance. What about the lookout? You can probably see the night sky from the courtyard since the school building's blocking everything. Well, then simply some other place that offers a good unbroken view. At that point, a place that meets that criteria comes to mind. What about Hibarigazaki's lookout? Hey, good man. What about Hibarigazaki's lookout? And there's nothing that blocks the sky there, so I think it would be perfect for stargazing. That is a fine idea, but like the rooftop, the lookout is also off limits. Right, I tend to forget about that. Probably because I keep going there and ignoring the fact that I'm not supposed to. It's pretty easy to get inside, so wouldn't it work if we used it secretly? If we were found out by the student council, I'm pretty sure they would use that as a reason to abolish the Asu Circle entirely. It seems that Kosame-san is against the idea, and I can't really fault her reasoning. Kogasaka-san, you said you used to play at the lookout as a kid, yes? Yeah, back then you could freely enter it. Do you know why they closed it off? Kosame-san's expression clouds over. Apparently there was an accident that occurred there years back. That was the root cause, from what I gather. An accident? Like what kind of accident? Kosame-san shakes her head, telling me she knows nothing more. Asuo doesn't react at all, or rather she hasn't been participating in the conversation for a while. Asuo, what's wrong? Just wondered whether you will be alright with that. With what exactly? Alright with us, the Asu Circle. Using the lookout. I mean, that place holds a lot of special meaning to you, right? She's worried about that? Well, yeah it is, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to be mad if anyone else steps a foot in it. I mean, Mayor, for example, also comes there quite frequently. In fact, I would rather people visit it visited it so that I could ask them whether they would happen to see the lookout girl. Come to think of it, I suppose it is also because the lookout became off limits that I can't see the lookout girl there. I wonder, what's bothering you? No, it's nothing. She waves her hand in front of her. Why are you letting her change the topic, dude? If you're okay with it, I guess we can use the lookout. If you're okay with it, I guess we can use the lookout. It is fairly easy to get past that fence. It is already spectacular with the naked eye, like if I gazed at the sky there through a telescope, I might spend a really sweet night there at that rate. Hearing her say sweet night with a wrapped tongue sets me in a strange mood. We can finally put our chimes. It's the card club behind us. Hooray! You know better than to suggest that. We both know that the lookout is off limits. Nobody will see us if we just go late at night. It's precisely because we will go there at nights that makes it dangerous. The path there is pretty much just a back road with no safety railing or anything. If you happen to miss your footing, you will end up tumbling down all the way to the town. You're such a worry ward, Hoshizora. And you are too carefree. Then why don't we hold a vote to settle things? That's unfair. Nothing unfair about democracy. Isn't that right, Yo-chan? Of course someone sounds against it. I guess I'm against it as well. Why are you so betraying me? What was it, son? I suppose I am too. Oh please, when did you manage to come back to us? Didn't you say it yourself? We will get our members, have the answer circle, be recognized as an official club and get the permission to use the rooftop fair and square, right? Yeah, true, but still. Our agenda for the day is playing cards, right? Tomorrow we'll watch a movie and the day after that cards again. I just wanna break out of this unprotected situation as soon as humanly possible. Why don't we play a Japanese card game? In a sense, I'm actually envious of how you can be satisfied with the current situation. From my perspective, it merely looks like she is teasing Asuo. Asuo-san, now that Kogasaka-san has joined us, that means we only have to put our effort into recruiting one more member and then we'll be recognized. Right. Asuo has a sullen look on her face, but she ultimately nods. You help with that as well, okay? But of course. So just one more member and we'll become a club? Yeah. Yeah, so I'm like super grateful to you.
ほとんどの生徒はすでに部活に所属しているし、帰宅部の生徒だって趣味や勉強で忙しいだろうし。
Well, we can't celebrate just yet. Now that the first semester's about to end, most students already belong to a club or circle, and I'm sure those that aren't are busy with their hobbies or studying.
さっきはちょっと引くほど喜んでたのに。先輩ってばすぐ弱気になっちゃうんですから。
Just minutes ago you were so awfully delighted that it even creeped me out a little, and the next moment you get all negative
そうは
again.
言うけどね、アスホ君。
But Asuka-kun, the thing is,
失礼します。
excuse me. At the same time that I hear that voice, and a knock on the door, the clubroom door slides open.
こ
Uh-oh.
んにちは、テンクルの皆さん。
Good afternoon, members of the Aso Circle. Hisakaki-san, visibly ill-humored, is standing there.
誰かと思ったら、
It just had to be you. It only takes the blink of an eye for Asu's expression to turn into a scowl.
今日も仲良くジメジメトランプでもしてたのかしら。
Enjoy another fine, lovely round of cards today, are we?
何の用だよ。勝手に入ってこないでよ。
Look, what do you want? Don't just barge in here like you own the
ちゃ
place.
んとノックをしたし、声もかけたわよ。
I gave a proper knock and said I was coming in, so I'm not sure what else you want.
同時に扉開けてたら意味ないじゃない。
Great, except to me that's entirely pointless if you open the door at the same time.
アスホさん、どう
Easy now,
ご
Asa-san.
さめ。あなたもいつまでトランプ愛好サークル、略してトラクルに所属してるの？
Kusame, how much longer do you plan on staying in this card game fan circle? Oh, sorry, you called yourself the card circle.
変な名前つけないでよ。
Don't give us some dumb weird name.
姉さん、何度反対されようと、私はこのトラクルが大好きなんです。
Nessa, no matter how ardent your opposition to it, I love this card
ト
circle.
ラクルが映っちゃってるよ、小ザメちゃん。
Don't you say too,
では
Kusame-chan.
トラクルにしますか？
Now what about J card
私
circle?
には小ザメちゃんの本心がいつまで経ってもわからないよ。
I feel like I'm never going to get a serious opinion out of you ever. They sure seem to be having fun with this. Hisakaki-san, did you come here in the first place because you need something?
その前に、なぜあなたがここにいるのよ。
Well, before that, might I ask you what you are doing here? She glares
ま
at
さ
me.
かこのテンクルに入ったわけじゃないでしょうね。
Surely you
小
aren't
笠かよ。
Surely you aren't going to tell me you joined this measly little circle, Kokosake-yo. Using my full name feels kinda weird, so yeah. If you could use something else,
答
please.
えてくれる？小賀よ。
Would you care to answer my question, Kogayo? I was combining them any
今
better.
日はよくも私をはめてくれたわね。青いちなみなんて生徒はこの学校にいないじゃない。
I bet you thought you were clever playing a cheeky little joke like that on me yesterday. There's no student in our school with the name Aoi Chinale. So that's why she is so mad at me, huh? That's why you came here?
そうじゃないけど。
As a matter of fact, it's not.
ついに生徒会からの廃部通告が。
So at last, the student council has come to proclaim they have abolished our.
先輩、気を確かに持ってください。
Senpai, please get a hold of yourself.
そうですよ。部になるまであと一息なんだから。ようちゃんが入部してくれたおかげで。
Right, we are just one step away from becoming a club, all thanks to Yoko and join us. Also proclaims while proposing emphasizing the last part. The veins on Hisakaki's forehead become visible. I can only imagine how much that ticked her off.
ちょっと、そこの子がよ。
Excuse you, Kogayo. Can we please not do this weird first last name thing? And why did your attitude towards me do in 180 over one night?
私を騙してテンクルなんかに入ったあなたが悪い。
Ask yourself that. I was already in a sore mood after you played that. Ask yourself that. I was already in a sore mood after you played the trick on me. And then you went and joined the Asu Circle on top of it. She turns away with folded arms.
こももちゃん、活動の邪魔だから用がないなら出て行ってほしいな。
Come on, Chan, we're busy with our circus activities here. So if you don't need anything, I would really like it if you could
うる
leave.
さい。それと私のこと名前で呼ばないで。
Shut up. you, and nobody said you could call me by my first name either.
いくらお支払いすればお引き取り願えますでしょうか。
Excuse me, kind ma'am. How much money would I have to pay you to back down?
先輩、それは下手に出すぎです。
Senpai, you're lowering yourself a little too much.
小笠君、正直に答えて、本当の本気で入部したの？
Ogasaka-kun, don't lie to me. Have you seriously joined the circle? Yeah.
ふざけないで。
Stop playing with me. I'm not.
そもそも、なんでこんなサークル崩れになんか入る
Why
のよ。
would you want to be a part of such a funny circle? Dunno, thought it would be nice. Thought it would be nice to do some sarcasm,
そ
you
ん
know.
な生活態度じゃ生徒会には推薦できないわね。
I can't possibly recommend you to the student council with such a crude lifestyle. Well, you are jumping the gun a bit. I never said I wanted to get into the
ふ
student
ざけな
council.
いで。
Stop playing with me. There's just no reasoning with her.
大体、天体観測は風紀を乱す行為じゃないでしょ。
To begin with, anyone with a brain can tell that stargazing doesn't even disturb
深夜に
discipline.
外出するのは褒められた行為じゃないでしょ。
Wandering outside late at night can hardly be called proper behavior. Well, I mean, isn't it a person's own right to do what they want at whatever
ふざ
time
け
of
ない
day?
で。
Stop playing with me.
もう、私たちが好きで活動するんだから、こももちゃんには関係ないじゃない。
Oh my god, would you just shut up already? We are doing this because we want to. So that's none of your business.
あるわよ。私は今日、あなたたちに最後の通告
Oh
をしに
yes,
来た
it
んだ
is. That's because the reason I've come here today is it to give you final notice. Yasakagi-san let out a snorting.
2学期になったら、あなたたちのテンクルは廃部にします。
At the start of the next semester, we will officially be abolishing the ASO circle.
せー
先輩、どう
Here you are, senpai. The instant Kosama-san passes Okaitsumi senpai a puzzle ring, he claims down.
食べられるかと思ったわ。
God almighty, I thought he was going to eat me alive. Seriously.
とにかく、テンクルは廃部にするから。
Anyway, we are abolishing the ASO circle, so there you have it. Really?
イライラする声出さないで。
Don't really mean.
廃部って言われて、はいそうですかなんて言えるわけないでしょ。
Do you really accept us to just accept it? Do you really expect us to just accept it? Yes, thank you, and go about with our lives like usual?
それ
Absolutely
を決
not.
めるのはあなたじゃなくて私たち生徒会だから。
Well, too bad. You don't have any say in that. It's something we, the student council, decide.
行動反対。いじめかっこ悪い。
Bullying is lame. Say no to
正
tyranny.
当な処置だから。
Tyranny. It's a perfectly legitimate measure.
いくらなんでも急すぎませんか。これじゃあ納得できないのも無理がありません。
Still, Nei-san, isn't this just much too sudden? You can hardly blame her for having
それじ
grievances.
ゃないわ。定員の6人に達しなければテンクルは部にできないって何度も言っていたじゃない。
It's hardly sudden. I've told you over and over that you can't be approved as a club if you don't have a minimum of 6 members.
でもサークル
That's
だって許される
okay.
でしょ。
So then, I understand, okay. But who's to say we don't have the right to be a
許さ
circle?
れない。
Me?
私
Why?
が許さないから。
I have the right and I say so.
応募反対。こももちゃんかっこ悪い。
Komo-chan is lame. Say no to
うるさい。
Shut your
あ
mouth.
なたたちがサークルのくせに視聴覚室を陣取ってるから他のサークルからクレームが山ほど届くのよ。自分らにも物質をよこせって。
Shut your mouth already. All because of you guys, we are getting tons of complaints from other circles angry about how you keep hogging the audiovisual room and demanding we give them a club from as well.
そんなのあるの？
Really?
あるわよ。
Yes, really.
私は聞いたことないよ。
Nobody said a thing to me
生
about
徒
it
会に届いてるの。
because the student council gets them.
一体どこのサークルが騒いでいるんでしょう。
Yeah, but I have the answer right here, ladies and gentlemen. It's pretty interesting. And so they have 5 members. Who will be the last member? maybe we're gonna find it out in the next episode. Ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed it as much as I did, or even more, you should like it, share, subscribe, and don't leave anything out. Don't leave anything out. And as also remember, dreams come true. So what you could do, just believe in you. Ladies and gentlemen, watching money from me, and especially for you, there are so many. And if you want me to recommend you some, just ask me. Otherwise, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy watching.